Hi Cancer, welcome to your week ahead Taroscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Cancer, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week this week, you have the Star card. Where is it that you need to bring more hope and optimism into what you do? In all of these areas of your life, there'll be something this week that you are being asked to have a more hopeful or a more optimistic outlook or overview of something. So with that said, if you are a continued subby, you know Rafi loves you. And if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share. And if you should so choose and it resonates, hit the subscribe button. For all of you as well, Cancerian energy is very, very intuitive, and because you've got the Star card here, this week your intuition may go up a gear, but it might find you or speak to you in a new way. So if you're finding that something new or novel shows up for you, it wouldn't be a surprise to me, and this could be very powerful in that regard. I like this for a lot of you actually, because we get so used to relying on our intuition in one specific way that we forget that there are other ways to grow or to expand that aspect of self. So open up to it. For your actions and options this week, you have the Emperor card. This is about environmental intelligence. So your actions this week are, you're being very well received. You're coming across as an authority in your field. You're maybe even finding that you're being more well respected. The fact that you have this as well, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you are having more people lean on your opinion or more people coming to you. You might suddenly start to kind of feel like a little bit self-conscious. It's like, why are so many people asking me questions? Why are people deferring to me? Or why are people coming to me? And the chances are, it's because you are starting to be seen as an authority in your field. This could also be a time where you're choosing to really commit to your own future in some way, especially if this has got something to do with you presenting yourself to the world. For your communications and conversations, you've got the Knight of Swords. So for some of you, whatever it is that you're working on, it's not quite cooked yet. I don't know what it is, that Knight of Swords. It's like you could jump in with something and just charge straight ahead, and it's like, ooh, as one of my good friends says, girl, it's not cooked yet, put it back in, right? This kind of feels like one of those moments where it's not quite, okay, it's not quite put in there. It's where you take the cake out and it's still soggy in the middle. Whatever you're doing will be wonderful, right? I kind of get a feeling it might be to do with this. This is going to be a week where responding to what you're being asked is the right way to go, rather than presenting something completely new and novel because it's not quite cooked yet. It's not quite time. For those of you that are studying or in any form of academia, that Knight of Swords, again, you may be on the right path with something, but this week I think you're going to have a realization that wherever you're going with an idea or an understanding or a realization that you've had about your subject matter, you're going there alone. And so therefore, if you're going to step out onto this sort of pioneering new threshold, you have to be absolutely certain. You need to make sure you've got the facts, the citations, all of that to back this up. If you're going out on that limb, you make sure that every single tool that you have at your disposal is ready and raring to go when that time comes. Which incidentally doesn't appear to be now. So don't panic, all right? And this, I hear this for me as well, because obviously I have a moon in Cancer, so there's a part of me that's like, yeah, I know what you're talking about here. For those of you that are employed by somebody else, This week you might come across as Cancers, come across as a bit emotional. You might come across a bit more forthright than you mean to. And it's not necessarily that you're, that you're being edgy or that you're being sort of temperamental. I think this is about hyper efficiency. And so, if you find that you're just, really on the ball, you're doing what you need to do, and everybody's kind of like, okay, we should get out of their way today. I don't know what's going on. Maybe take a moment to explain that you're just in your zone. You shouldn't have to explain your flow state to anybody, but it might come across as because we've got a Mercury retrograde going on as well, so it might come across that you're being a bit standoffish when you're not. You're just like, really engaged in what you're doing. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, this could be the same thing. And it might be that you're so far into what you're working on at the moment that the people that you work with or people that work under you are kind of like, that you might seem a little bit haphazard or a little bit sort of what's the word? Checked out almost, right? Because the Knight of Swords is kind of all in, fast, rah, yeah, gonna do it, like, rah, rah. And so that might come across as kind of like, yeah, like they seem to be on a bit of a rampage at the minute. Like, what's going on with you? What's all of this? Again, sometimes that's the way it be, right? For those of you that are retired and no longer working, this is going to be a week where you are possibly having to pull rank with family members, with colleagues, with peers, etc. Since you're not working and you're not in that academic or that professional sphere, this is likely to shape up in your family, but you are having to pull rank. You are having to, to put your foot down, and that Emperor there really gives you, you've got the juice. You're being received well by doing so. This could be to settle an argument. It could be to end a challenge. Might even to be implementing something new. For your love and relations, you have the Page of Pentacles. That's really nice, especially because you've got the Star card as the key. For those of you that are single, this is potentially the start of a relationship that starts very small, very slow, through something that you either enjoy or something that you are just getting started. You might not even, at the time it's happening, you might just think, oh, it's really nice to have, somebody that is alongside or somebody that gets it. You might miss the fact, even you Cancerians with that, super powerful intuition, you might miss that actually this person is showing up right now for another reason. It just so happens that you either work really well together or you resonate at a similar sort of energy. For those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, especially with the Emperor and the Knight of Swords, if things are rocky and a project is taking more time, effort, and energy than, maybe your spouse thinks is fair or whatever, I'm going to be honest with you. This week, Cancer, it's you, right? It's not them, it's you. This week, you are, even if you don't mean to be, you might be coming across as a little bit more spiky or a little bit more sort of crabby, dare I say it, than usual. And so you're having to temper that. You're having to find a way to manage you're having to find a way to manage this. All right, for your money and materials, you have the Moon card. So the Moon is probably, it's not one of my least favorite cards, but it's not one of my favorites, and that's because we never really know what we're getting with the Moon. It's sappy, it's wet, and when it comes to your money and your finances, guard against emotional spending this week, especially if it's like, well, no, I need this. If you've convinced yourself that you have to have the best camera, the best microphone and all the rest of it to start your YouTube channel, you're already doing it wrong. I'm going to tell you straight up. I started my channel with a beat up old iPad and my phone. And I ran my entire everything that I was doing at the time, I ran from those two things, and a laptop that was pretty much on its way out, I have to say. So I'm going to say to you, like, beware of emotional spending this week, and be aware of kind of convincing yourself that you need something that you actually don't. Because after all, it's not really how it looks, it's the content of what you do, whether that's a YouTube channel, an Instagram page. It's maybe not so much Instagram because it's very visual, but I guess whatever you do, it's how you put you forward that really matters. And that moon card, it's almost like you're not seeing things clearly, and you're likely to either overspend or put money onto or into something that it just doesn't give the results that you hope for, and that could be another source of another source of irritation or irritability. For your physical health and vitality, for me, the moon card is always your lymph system. Because it's Pisces ruled. So I will say this, this could be your lymph system or your hormones. I'm not a doctor, can't give you medical advice, but if you have any challenges or issues, this is very likely to be the endocrine system or the lymph system. The star card is Aquarius ruled, so therefore it rules the systems of the body. And the moon card is literally your lymph system and your endocrine. So those would be good places to start if you have any issues show up. With that said, like I said, I'm not a doctor, I can't give you medical advice, but I can tell you what comes up. When it comes to your home and environment, I really don't want to say this, but I'm going to say it. And it's funny because the coming eclipse in Scorpio has already started to manifest for me. I had a neighbour, not yesterday, the day before, come and say our drains are blocked and there's sewage coming out all over the front lawn, and I was like, oh dear, here we go. So the fact that we've got the moon card in the home sector tells me that if you have any problems or issues, this is, touch wood, hope I'm wrong, it's likely to be that your waterworks go crazy, that the washing machine pisses water all over the floor, that I don't know, somebody leaves the bath running, likely to be one of the kids if you have them. Do you know what I mean? Like it's going to have something to do with water, it's going to have something to do with the home, and it's going to be something that can be, fixed relatively easy, but it's just a real inconvenience. All right, with that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.